what happens is that people start associating the bed and the bedroom with the fear of not sleeping. And the more you spend on bed awake, the stronger this association becomes.
Welcome, SpirLifters. Good day, and I hope you're doing well. Not having the ability to sleep, or even at all, can severely affect our physical and emotional well-being, leading to heightened states of stress. Today, I'll be speaking with Dr. Pilar, a specialist in psychiatry, recognized by the National Institute of Psychiatry, Ramon de la Fuente in Mexico City, who will address the topic of insomnia and tips to overcome it at home. Doctora Pilar, welcome to SpirLift.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you so much, Doctora. And this is just such a huge issue. Not only in 2020, people are having such difficulty sleeping at night or even at all, given the pandemic issue and being quarantined at home. I've received a lot of comments on people having really big problems sleeping, but the issue of insomnia is an ever-present problem, I think, in many countries with many people. So I'm really happy to have you here, and I want to start out our conversation by asking you, in your appropriate definition, what is insomnia and some of its main causes?
Well, insomnia is really one of the most common medical complaints in the population, but it is important to remember that the diagnosis requires three main components. First is the persistent sleep difficulty that can be defined as a difficulty initiating sleep or maintaining sleep. We're talking at least 30 minutes in adults. Also, when you wake up 30 minutes prior to the desired wake-up time, that can also be a difficulty in sleep. And the other two components are the associated daytime dysfunction that can be, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, paying attention, irritability, mood disturbances, an increase in work accidents, work mistakes, obviously daytime sleepiness. And another important aspect in the diagnosis is that the difficulty in sleeping occurs even when there is adequate opportunity and circumstances to sleep. You have enough time to sleep, your room is dark, your room is silent, your bed is comfortable, and even with those circumstances, you can't sleep. The causes are really variable. Insomnia was considered to be secondary to several conditions, but it has been described, within the last 20 years that it can be a disorder in its own, a primary disorder. But it can be associated with many conditions, medical conditions such as high blood pressure, heart conditions, pulmonary conditions. What else? Pain. Any condition that gives you pain can be associated with insomnia. Also psychiatric illness, other sleep disturbances, drugs, other medications. It can be related to a whole lot of conditions.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. What do you think, Doctor, in your opinion, are, can you speak to stress and insomnia, like, especially, let's say, anxiety and depression? Those are two different things, and maybe you can speak to it more professionally, about, how either of those really cause, such a horrible sleep deprivation and insomnia, and, like how that just can really prolong having insomnia, for extended periods of time.
Well, depression and anxiety are the two psychiatric illnesses that are more related to insomnia. And it's really like a vicious cycle. Both depression and anxiety can cause insomnia, and also insomnia can perpetuate these conditions, and make it really, really difficult for you to overcome both depression and anxiety. Really, the sleep pattern is very associated with mood and with stress management as a whole.
I mean, we're in 2020 right now, right? Okay, and a lot of people are at home. A lot of people are having a very difficult time sleeping, especially these days. I mean, and sometimes they just have no idea why, right? I mean, is it because of being in a whole different routine? Is it because, in your opinion, lack of being outside, fresh air, sunlight? What could be causing these issues that they normally didn't suffer from this before?
I think it's a combination of everything. First, there is the change in routine. Perhaps you don't have to get up as early as you did, so you're sleeping more, or perhaps you're waking up a bit later and you're not going to sleep as early as you did. So that starts changing all the circadian rhythm. So that's one thing. Then there's for example, there's people that go out to the gym, that I don't know, go out to jog or run outside, and now they can't. So perhaps they're not exercising enough. We have to exercise at least 20 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week. That also contributes to a good sleep pattern, and many people are not doing it these days. So it is important to try to do it inside. Try to exercise at home however you can. Then, there is this global state of panic in many people. Some people are continuously checking the news, the social media, how many cases, how many people have passed away from this condition. And that is also creating a state of anxiety that doesn't allow us to get enough sleep or quality sleep.
Yeah.
Also, that you said about the sunlight, that is also an important factor to consider. It is very important for our circadian rhythm that we get exposed to sunlight during the day. And also being exposed to screens, for example, your cell phone, your TV, your laptop during the night, that also makes it difficult for your brain to produce certain hormones that you should produce when it's dark. So that all of those factors contribute to disturbing the sleep pattern.
Okay, that's interesting. And going on that theme of screens, like most people now, if they're fortunately having the ability to work from home, and my heart goes out to anyone out there who did lose their jobs, really, and I wish the very best for you and in these difficult times, is if you're fortunate to work at home right now, okay? I mean, a lot of people have been used before being in the office, being on the computer all day, cracking away on the screen, etc., right? But now, being at home, a lot of people are still on their computer doing what they already have done before in the past on their screen at work. But all the meetings obviously are not in person, and we're, here like we are on Zoom right now having this interview. So question related to that, if having more of these meetings on Zoom or whatever platform it is, for teleconferences and meetings, could that also be causing insomnia in certain ways for people because of having a lot more attention focused on talking to people on screen like this? Could that be causing anything?
I think it might. We're getting a lot of exposure to all screens, and especially it's not, it's more, it has more to do with the fact that many people have shifted their work schedules and are working way way later than they used to.
They're working more than before, you're saying?
Some of them are working more than before, and some of them are working the same amount of hours, but perhaps they used to start at 8 and now they start by noon. So they stop working at night, and it's really not healthy to be exposed to a certain wavelength from the screens at a certain time. Approximately after 8 p.m. we shouldn't be exposed to any screens.
After that, 8. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
And some people are still working at that time.
Sure. Yeah, because especially moms and even certain dads, anyone that has kids at home right now, they're really readjusting their way of life to pay attention to their kids, helping them with their homework at home, and also doing their own, work. So, these routines and these adaptations to our way of life are having, I think, a dramatic impact at the same time. Doctora, what are your main tips for people right now and for the long term to help with insomnia at home? What are your main tips?
First, we have to do something that is called sleep hygiene. This is very, very important, and these are the basic rules for a good night's sleep. Okay? So they consist in the following. You have to sleep only as much as you need until you feel rested. And then you have to get out of bed. So you can't stay in bed just because you don't have anything better to do. Okay? You have to keep a regular sleep schedule. So you should have an alarm to wake you up at the same time, even on weekends. You should not try to go to sleep unless you are sleepy, because that is going to produce some alterations in your sleep. As I was saying before, exercise is also very important, but not 4 to 5 hours before going to bed, because then it stimulates and it makes it difficult for you to sleep. Also, avoid caffeine, preferably after lunch. Avoid smoking, preferably all together, but especially in the evening. Do not go to bed hungry, but also dinners should be light, not very heavy meals. The bedroom environment should be adequate for sleeping, so it should be dark. The temperature should be nice. Your bed and pillow and sheets should be comfortable. It should be silent. Avoid the use of light-emitting screens before bedtime. And also, very important, deal with your worries before going to bed. That is very, very important. There is also a therapy that we call stimulus control therapy, and it has 5 basic principles. As I was saying before, go to bed only when you're sleeping, not before. Also very important is, do not watch television, eat, read, or worry in bed. The bed should only be used for sleep and for sex only. If you are unable to fall asleep within 20 minutes, you should get up, go to another room, and engage in other activities such as reading, or listening to soothing music. Not stimulating activities like watching TV or activities that reward you for being awake, such as eating. So relaxing activities. And then when you are sleepy, you go to bed, you try again, and if again you don't fall asleep within 20 minutes, you should get up again and repeat that process throughout the night as many times as necessary. Some people really don't like this rule because it's kind of difficult to do it, but really what we're trying to do is to reduce the amount of time that we spend in bed while being awake. because what happens is that people start associating the bed and the bedroom with the fear of not sleeping. And the more you spend on bed awake, the stronger this association becomes. So the stimulus control therapy, its main purpose is to destroy this association and make the bed a pleasant experience. Sorry.
Sure.
Also, the fourth rule is to set an alarm clock and wake up always at the same time, even on weekends. And very, very important, do not take naps during the day, especially not naps over 20 minutes.
Okay. And why is that?
That is because mainly if you take naps during the evening, and mainly if they're over 20 to 30 minutes, your brain really starts being a mess in the circadian rhythm. It starts, the phases start to overlap.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's really not a good thing to do. And besides, I know it's hard because people start getting really sleepy and really tired, and they have mood swings and they are irritable, and they don't want to do it, and they want to sleep and they want to take a nap. But if you don't do it and you do all of this, if you try to do all of this that I'm telling you, with time, all that sleep deprivation will favor that you sleep during the night, as you should.
Okay.
So the best thing is to avoid all naps at daytime.
Okay. Well, all those tips are extremely insightful, and especially do at home now. And so basically, I got to stop watching Netflix at 9 p.m., eating tacos de pastor with lemon at that time, exercise an hour. I got to change my whole routine. So but those are really, really enlightening tips, Doctora Pilar, and thank you so much for revealing them. And SpirLifters, please let us know if those tips that Dr. Pilar mentioned are insightful and useful for you. Please comment below. That would be great. And Doctora, if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
Well, first I would like them to check out my website on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Enlazando Mentes, for more information about mental health. Okay. And you can find me on doctoralia.com.mx for any appointments or any further information that they may like.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much, Doctora. Thank you so much for being on this episode of SpirLift. It was a very enlightening conversation and very important in these times and going forward in the future for many people that are going through this issue of insomnia. So thank you so much, Doctora. And thank you, SpirLifters. We hope you have a great day and wish you all the best. Take care.